everybody. How you doing today? Well, it's that time of year when it's the season. People are celebrating, and no matter what faith you are, there's always something that you can paint. And I kind of just took this one. I wanted to do something like an ornament, but I wanted to make it with Jesus, Mary, and Joseph in the middle. So I do apologize for anyone that is not Christian faith, but I wanted to do this type of thing. And you can put anything in here if you like. If you want to put a house in there, you could put that, or something that reflects your faith. I always like the nativity scene. It just comforts me. I don't know, especially in this time when things are so crazy in this world and one thing leads to another. We just have no control over what's going on these days. So hopefully, this will bring some comfort to you as well. So in this painting, we will be using the following colors. And I will have a list of these in the front of the picture. And before we get started, I hope that you would like the painting. If you can, please give me a thumbs up. Also, please make comments, because that just helps my station to grow, my channel. And if you can subscribe if you like these paintings that I'm doing. I would really appreciate that too. Thumbs up. So the pattern for this also will be on Patreon. I have them on Patreon for $1. So you can grab your stencil or your background here, and you'll have the actual layout. You won't have to draw it. Okay, so the first color we will be using is Mars Black. I have a Galleria color here for that. We will be using some metallic gold, and I have DecoArt metallics. This is a decor paint, but it still gives me the look of what I'm looking for. Phthalo blue. I have this here. It's phthalo blue, but they have a long name which I cannot pronounce. Phthalocyanine green. I got the green one. It probably should be a little bit more blue, and I do have that also with the phthalo blue that I'm going to be using, which is a Utrecht shade. We also are going to be using raw sienna, which here I'm using the Master's Touch raw sienna, and this is in the actually thick body acrylic. I like their thick body acrylics because it's like the consistency that I like to use. So I use that one. And of course you're going to be using titanium white. And this is my basics titanium white. You can use whatever kind. I also have this one that is a liquid acrylic by the Master's Touch. We can use that. It's a little bit more fluid than I would like. So I kind of don't use that if I want to blend my colors a little bit more. So, without further ado, let us begin. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to use our titanium white. We're going to paint that around the ornament here. So I'm going to put that out on my palette. And let's see, I'm going to squeeze that out. Sometimes they've been sitting around for a while, and I have been so busy doing, well, I think I told you about my daughter's book, which is also on Amazon. It's a great Christmas gift, or a Hanukkah gift, or a gift for the holiday season, however you celebrate. It's about a little boy and his explorations over the summer vacation time. And it's a very cute little book. I illustrated it for her. So we had a great time doing this. Now, I'm going to use my number 14 bristle brush, and I'm going to put the white around the ornaments. Because I'm using, well, this is a 16 by 20 canvas, by the way, so hopefully you can see everything. Some of it is not, and I might have to change the way my easel is set up here. For you to get the whole image in, for me to get the whole image into the camera. So my next part will be the raw sienna, which we are actually going to blend in as we're doing that. And I'm not rinsing off my brush at all. I'm just going to go into my raw sienna with the same brush. And we're going to go out until all the canvas is covered. Okay? We're going to cover the entire canvas with this. And we're going to kind of blend it a little bit more. Now, because this is a heavy body, it may not exactly be what I need here, but I'm going to spritz my paint. I have a little water bottle here that I can use. Just spritzing it. I'm going to spritz the canvas just a tad, just to kind of wet it a little bit so it moves a little smoother. But that is a good consistency out of that paint. Excuse me. This will blend a little bit better for us. So we will cover up some of our marks, but we can go lighter as we go out. And you know what? I am going to actually pick up some of the white as I'm doing this as well, because I do want it a little lighter around here. So we can just blend it a little bit more. Try not to get it into the white if we can. I'd rather not. And I'm just making my motions in a circular motion here. Just going circular. See? Just kind of making it go around here. Circular, circular. You could just make your brush go in like around. And I think we've done this before in several of my other paintings. We may even go for a bokeh effect, which kind of would be, I think, really nice to do. Spritzing it a little just to make that move a little bit better for us. And I'm going to clean this right now because I want to go into my white and bring that towards that in order to blend. This is the hard part right here, blending. Blending is not, it takes a little bit of work to get that all blended correctly. I mean, it's you want it to be kind of like feathery looking, and that's what we're trying to do here. Get this a little bit more blended. See how nice that is? It kind of just gives it a little bit of a glow around the ornaments. I want to get all those brush strokes out of there that we can. But always make sure you're going in that circular motion. Circular motion. You're blending it. Now when you're blending it, you're going very lightly. You're not pressing hard on your brush. You're just going very lightly. Very light. Because this is a new brush, some of the bristles are coming out. So I'm going to paint around the edge here. Get my edges painted. Because this is a gallery wrap. Now you can put this on a canvas board however you want. But I have all these canvas panels that are gallery wrapped. So going to have to get a little bit more of this out on my palette. A little bit more. So I hope everyone of my viewers out there are feeling good and everything is good for them, and that we're going to bring in the new year with health and prosperity and joy, inner peace. There's so much out there that it's like hard to handle sometimes, and I just hope that everyone is doing well. So I had a little health scare not too long ago. I was in a whole lot of pain. It was on the right side. I still am having issues with my hand, but I thought I'm not going to baby it anymore. So I was having this severe pain around my left side, right around where my kidneys and gallbladder are located. So I'm thinking what happened, I finally went to the doctors. I really didn't want to go because I know I'm going to have a huge bill for all these tests that I had to go through. But like I said, I was a little afraid. So I have a good friend that is having issues, and here it turns out she has a brain tumor, and she's going through, of course I wasn't thinking I had a brain tumor, of course, but I didn't know what it was. I thought maybe it was a stone, which I still think it might have been, because they couldn't see anything. Nothing was there. My pain had subsided by the time I got the test done, so I think I may have passed the stone, whatever it was. But oh my goodness, was I a mess. Whew. I could hardly move. It hurt so bad. So luckily everything's good. I'm in good shape again. I just can't believe how many things can happen to you, though, when you get older. And some people don't have any problems. I mean, as they get older, they do well. Not sure why. You know, I'm a weakling, I guess. So, now we've got that, and I want to put a little bit more white out there. So I'm going to rinse off my brush because I don't want that to be on. And I can still see my lines, which is good. Now maybe when I put the next part on, it may not show as well, but But I like this glow here. This is so pretty. And I'm going to actually make that a little lighter towards the, like here, how I have it. I like to have it like that a little bit more. So I'm rinsing out my brush again. I'm going to get more white. Now, if we were using that liquid acrylic there, this probably would not cover as well. So the fact that it is covering this is a bonus. And that's what you want. Just lightly blending it out. Lightly blending it. Alright. So we're going to use the same brush and we're going to paint the edges of the canvas up here with the gold. So I'm going to shake this up because this does get a little thick. Okay, so we got this open, and as you can see, it is metallic gold. So I'm going to pour just a tad on my palette, and I don't have to mix it with anything. It's just going to come out straight. And we're just going to put the metallic gold up in here. Now, because there's so much white on here, I want to get that off because I don't want the paint to get disrupted there. Now, if this number 14 is too big for you, what you can do is use a smaller brush. You can use a 3/4 inch brush if it's better, if it's easier for you to use. I just like, when I have a big canvas like this, I kind of just like to use a larger brush to cover it quickly. It just kind of gets it a little, faster. So we're just doing these edges here. We're kind of coming down into the raw or burnt sienna. Is it raw sienna or burnt sienna that I'm using? I can't remember. I get them two mixed up. Raw sienna, sorry. I was right the first time. So we're kind of just blending it down into the raw sienna. Make sure you get the whole thing covered there. Blending it down. Get those corners real well. Alright, so what I want to do, I do want to make some little bokeh things before we put our branches in there. So I have this little dauber, it's about 1 inch dauber, Martha Stewart. We're going to put some of those in. So I'm going to mix up some white and raw sienna for that. Having my trusty little drink. So, with my large brush, don't leave your brushes in the water. Just going to get a little bit of white and raw sienna. And I may even do some gold, I don't know. applying it onto my dauber. Just lightly putting little circles here, just kind of blending them in with my fingers. Let's see, can you see better there? I don't know if you can see up. Yeah, maybe not, huh? I'm sorry. Let's see if we can. That's okay. There we go. Let's see if I can move my camera up a bit so you can see what I'm doing here. There we go. We'll get to the top here. You see the couple little ones that I put in? Okay. You can just put these anywhere. I'm going to put them throughout here. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to rub the circle so that it distributes the paint a little bit better. Even put some up in there. We'll put some gold ones in too, kind of make it look nicer. I don't know why my easel is kind of moving. It shouldn't move. Let me see if I can tighten it a little bit. Keep it from moving. Hi everybody. Yeah, that might be better here. Sometimes they loosen up, you know. Okay. And then I do have smaller daubers also. We can use a smaller one. I have a smaller dauber. Okay, so I'm going to go in with that paint also. This one I'm going to make a little darker. Might not show up. It's good. And it's okay to overlap. It's kind of makes it look more interesting. Go into the white area a little bit with the darker one. Some white. Oop, that one didn't turn out so good, but we can use our finger and make it look nice. Okay, now let's go into our gold. Kind of just put some of that gold in through here. Kind of shimmer it a little bit. Make some shimmeries. It kind of blends out when the white is mixed with it, but at least it's giving you some ideas on what you can do with your paintings. Make them a little bit more interesting. Let me get some. Now we don't want to go crazy with our circles, but we do want to get some of these in here. Okay. And I especially like it when you can overlap them a little bit. But this is like really probably all you need. I mean, you don't need a ton of these, like I said. It's just more or less to kind of give it that effect. So I'm putting my sponges in my water because I don't want them to get stuck, that paint to get stuck on there. Okay. Alright, so our next step, we are going to get some titanium white, and we're going to get some of the phthalo blue. Okay, so phthalo blue, especially the Utrecht, it's a heavy body, and the thing about this is it's very, very intense in color. So you just need a little bit to blend with your any colors that you use. So we're going to blend this with some white, of course. But we are going to use a little bit more of that when we do our trees and our little nativity there. Now I'm going to start out with my white and phthalo, and I'm just going to go around the ornament with this brush, trying to capture everything. Now I'm going to add a little bit of water to that, just so that I can get blendability, so it doesn't like feather out. I don't want that feathered out. I want a nice smooth edge. Nice and smooth. So if you find that your paints are like not moving correctly the way you want, because you know acrylic paints are a little different than your oils, you can just add a little water to them and it'll help. Okay, now I'm going to turn this because of course me and my lines are always harder. So you want to kind of move this towards you so that you can keep everything straight. We have to go over something over there. Same here. I think I've got it more of a circle, but maybe not. Maybe not. There. All right, so we're going to now, let's get some more of that blue. Kind of just go over that again, make it nice and dark here. Try to make sure that you can still see your pattern. Going in a circle, keeping it circular. Now I'm going to go into my white, kind of blend this now. Blend it into the center and just kind of making it circular. Adding more white. Because as you're going in a circle like this and you're making this lighter, it looks more dimensional. It doesn't look as flat. Plus I'm actually seeing some of the background here so that I don't want that. Okay, we're going to get another brush. Let's see. I'm going to use this one. It's a number 10. And I'm going into my white. Just kind of getting this center a little lighter. Just lightly moving outward in that circular movement. I'm going to add more white. I'm wiping this off because what I don't want is that darker shade in the middle. And I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to get this dry a little bit because I want that a lot lighter than this. Actually, it's not too bad, but just kind of feathering this to make it nice and neat. The outer edges. Where I can still see my stencil piece. And right here, I'm going to add a little bit of white. See where my brush bristles kind of feathered out, and need a little bit of white there. Okay. Alrighty. So our next step is to add some white here where the snow line is. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to add that. But I do want to get more white in here. So let this dry. I'm going to let this dry. Well, actually, I'm going to blow it dry. And I will be back. All right. So I blew that dry. I'm going to add more white to it. Get some paper towel. Get my brush out of here. Oh, the water's here. I don't like my brushes in the water. I have to clean those really well. Okay, so we're going to get more white. Oh, gee whiz, that's starting to get low, it sounds like. Okay. Now, I might have covered up some of my, because white is so opaque. And I can always go back and trace things back in there again once this dries. Okay, so what I want to do now, I'm going to get some of my white here, and I'm just going to kind of tap it in where the snow is here. Tap it in. Kind of just blend it down a little bit. And right where these deer are, I'm going to do that also. Just kind of bring it down, wipe your brush off, and then just lightly bring it on down here. Blend it in. How nice, huh? Okay, and we are going to, with some black, I guess we're going to outline some of our trees. So I have a little teeny weeny brush that I just got, and I know I put it in here. Here we go. I've got two types here. I've got this one, which is 20-0, and I think that's the one I'm going to use for this. I actually bought two of these because I love them so much. And I'm going to wet it a bit. And we're going to outline these. You can outline them in black. It probably would be better because it is a silhouette. So I'm going to get my black and put that on my palette. And remember, that's Mars Black. Okay. You want to do this quite carefully. You know, try to get it. Actually, I'll put a little bit of water in that also. Kind of dry here in my studio today. Now you can put anything inside your ornament however you like, you know. Look on Pinterest. There's so many little things you can do for inspiration. You don't want to copy exactly, but you can find lots of inspiration on Pinterest. I'm not sure why this is making so much noise here. I don't know if I'm running out of video. Space. My card, I don't know what's going on there. Is it warning me? Now I'm going to have to redo my Nativity, so I don't want to go too much in here as far as putting these things in. So I'm just going to get these trees in here. It'd be nice if that was a little straighter, I think. This is such a nice little detail brush, and you can get into those little nooks and crannies so easily with that. I'm going to rinse that out. And my other brush. And let's see here. I need a teeny brush, don't I? Well, here, I'm going to use this round. It is a Social Art Working number 2. Ooh, just got paint on my handle here. Okay, let's get this side over here. I think I can use this number 2 just kind of to outline out. Like I said, you can do however you'd like to do with these. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. Now, with all respect, I realized that Bethlehem did not have snow. It was warm there, but this is just to know that, you know, we celebrate this holiday during the winter. It probably was summertime, or it was probably like our summer. It would probably have taken place. Just wipe that off. Now, if you get paint on something, what you can do is get a baby wipe and wipe it. And it should come off pretty quickly. Just very easily wipe it off, okay? Because you don't want to take all the paint off. This is supposed to be like a nighttime scene. And we're going to put a little bit of a shadow coming down here. Just a little shadow effect here. Okay, let's just feather that out a bit. With a nice wet brush. We can always get back in here. Just the shadow. Make it a little bit like snow piles here. A little bit of white. Just to give some dimension here. You want to just be able to give that dimension in there. And you can always go over things, so don't get all nervy about it. It can all be fixed eventually with this. but you do need some shadows. And we could put shadows in with the blue. Probably would be better with the blue. It would make more sense. And perhaps that's what we will do. Put shadows in with the blue. I just kind of like the blue better, but you can use that to darken it up a little. That kind of getting that snow. See, me, I would probably have, well, I don't know. Think. Make it look like there's trees going there. I gotta get this one better here. Okay, I'm just gonna get this dry and I will be back. Alright, so what I did retrace everything. I wanted to get this one so I could see it. So we're going to do the rest of these trees. We're going to do the outline here. There's a tree behind here and some back here. So everything's kind of going to mesh together. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I'll get rid of these trees here because it's going to mess up the picture of the Nativity. So we'll do that. And let's see here. I'm going to get a smaller brush. And we're going to go in our black. And just finish this up here. Just gonna finish that up. And this will get a little darker. And the lines that I'm just gonna go in with my really narrow brush here. This is a 20/0, and I was using before a number 4 bright. So get back into the black. Just kind of getting that. This is just going to be all the black, but it can kind of show. So, let's see. That's going to look nice there. Okay. I'm going to put this in water. I'm going to get... Let's see if I can find my little... Rinsing these out. A small round brush that I had before here, which was a number 2 round I'm going to use that, see if how that works for me. Those smaller areas too, we'll just use, we're going to continue to use this little number 2. I'll get my little teeny weeny 20/0. Now I notice that my black is starting to dry up a little bit, so I'm going to add a little water to it. And this here part that is like the halo, I am going to make that gold. So I'm going into my metallic gold. Just to indicate this is a special little boy here. Little baby. Now, I'm going to get the round of the head a little bit better. And just keep that nice glow there. Okay. Now we'll move on to Joseph. Here. Now the star, I'm going to make that yellow But I'm also going to add some gold to that as well, just to kind of tie everything all together when I get to that part. But everything else is going to be in silhouette. This ornament will be all in silhouette here. Ooh. Let's see here. There we go. Just have his hair come down a little bit more. I'm going to just turn my canvas here so I can get this nicely put in here. Okay, a little bit more water into our black. It actually started to develop a skin because these things do dry out so quickly. I have my little Sally in the studio today. She's watching me paint. Okay, his little hand is a little messy there. Okay, let me get some white. This will probably not work here, but too much white, too much white. Blend that out a little bit. He doesn't need such a big hand. Now, as soon as that dries, I'll fix that a little bit more. Yeah, sometimes when you're doing this, you know, you have to go back and kind of fix things a little bit. Okay, so let's rinse that out and we'll fix that up a little after here. Maybe I can just fix it here. Let's see if we can get this nice and round. There we go. There we go. Ooh, wrong color. Wrong color. Let's see. Get that snow to look a little better. Blue right here needs to be a little bit blended in with the black here, so it's okay. So let's see here now. We got to get these little babies in. And I'm going to probably use something else here if I can find a little teeny flat. If I can find one here. This is a round. Some of my brushes are just really, woof. Let's see how this one will work. This is a number 3 synthetic. And we are going to also make those guys these should actually be bigger, but it's a little bit off. Good either, so we're going to have to use the teeny weeny brush, the teeny weeny number 20 over 0, because it just needs to be a little bit more detailed, and my bigger, larger brush is not going to do that, where I can get into the little areas easier. Just remember, this is a little bit off scale. And you don't even have to put these in if you don't want to. But I just wanted my focus to be here, not on this. So, you can make these into sheep or whatever you'd like. If you're not, ooh, look what happened there. Let's see if I can get that off of there. Kind of. There we go. Yeah, sometimes that's a little difficult too. These are just little antlers I thought would be kind of interesting to put on. This could be a little sheep right here because it's so tiny. These are the little details that'll take the longest because you're trying to stay in those lines, and you want to like take your time with it. Put a little tail here. Okay. All right, so let's work on his star a bit. So I'm going to paint the insides right now with some white. That way we can at least get that blue off of here. White is so thick. Yeah, this little detail brush, if you can, go to Hobby Lobby and get one of these. It's a 20 over 0. It really works well with these narrower pieces. You can really get in there and make it nice. right here, we're going to make this, okay, since we have this, we can maybe go back in here now. Fix up Joseph here. Get him fixed. Okay, and then right in here, I want to get this nice and white also. Okay. Alright, so we got that. Now, let that dry. See a little spot here too with the, it's not quite touching the ground here. Okay. Very good. All right. Rinse. Rinsing. Okay. Rinse, rinse, rinse. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is I am going to paint this gold. Let's see. I think I can use my white, my number 2 round here. Probably need a couple of coats for this. Make that even. There we go. Let's see here. Okay, went up a little too high. Oops. I'm going to go in with my number 20/0. Okay. And we're going to draw a line down here. So, I'm going to get my trusty little ruler here. And see if I can draw this straight. Oh, that's no good. No. Just go like this. Okay. Ooh. This is the hard part, getting these lines. So you want to try to get it as best that you can. Get that, because that one kind of messed up. Okay, let's do this again. Okay, round, round. We're going to be doing that again too. I don't know why that got all messy. Alright, let's do that again. Nice gold. My line isn't very straight, so let's see if we can do it like this. We're going to come down straight, as straight as we can. Just kind of let it go. Let your hand do it. Let your hand just take it. There we go. All right, let's see what we can do with this star. I think I'm going to mix a little bit of my raw sienna with gold. Add a little white. Might just kind of mess it up, but I'm going to put more gold in there then, just so that it has a little substance. And then we can actually put more gold onto it once it dries. Now, in the middle here, there's a little circle, so we want to keep that little white circle there. Okay. Just let your hand relax and paint. If you relax, you can actually do this better. You just need to relax, relax. Relax. Okay, we got that. Now, we are going to get our phthalo green. We're going to start putting in our little branches. And we're going to mix that with some black. The phthalo green gets some black. So we're going to put some black in that. We're going to get a nice deep hooker's green color almost, but it's going to be a little bit darker. So you're going like 2 parts of the green to 1 part of the black. Get a nice dark green. So we're going to use our number 2 round. Yes. Clean my round. Okay. So let's see how this works. Okay. So I have my number 2 round. And here's one here. Just get those branches in. Okay, might need a little bit of water in that so it flows better. Spritz it. And it's okay, oops, if these branches are uneven, because, you know, on a tree, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be uneven. Okay. We have one up here. put the branches in. Like I said, these don't have to be perfect because you're going to be painting the different pieces on here. Okay, there's one right here. Oh, that's too much paint on my brush. Don't put a lot of paint on your brush. And I think that there's one that comes right here. Okay, like this. Okay. Now, we're going to use this number 2, and we are going to, let's see how we're going to do this. Alright, so we're just going to kind of use that number 2 and then just kind of like draw. And that's still too dry. You want this to be nice and wet. I mean, so that it's, I could probably put a little bit more black in there, make it darker. You want it to be able to flow, you know, flow. There we go. So just make your little marks like that. And there will be some that get lighter and some that are darker. This is a tree, remember. This is like a Christmas tree. That's where you're getting your, so let's just kind of keep going here with this one. Okay. Just making little strokes and make them the way that the tree would actually, the branches would go. So this is going to take a little bit of time because you want to do it right. See, it starts to look more like a Christmas tree. Find that your brush is getting dry or your paint is getting dry, wet the paint. Just spritz it a little bit. Because it does get dry. Overlap. Don't be afraid to overlap those little needles on the trees. Overlap. You're coming from the branch out, kind of bending it a little bit. You want those little needles to bend. They can go in different directions. They can be large, they can be small. Make it look natural. And it's okay if it does that. You want it to be nice and thick. You want your tree to be nice and thick. You can come back and do more. A little bit more water, a little bit more black. See how nice that looks? That's looking good. All right, so I'm just going to go through this, and we'll speed it up because you don't want to see my every brush stroke here. So we'll speed it up at this point, and we'll be back. Okay, so we got that in. Now, I want to put more gold into this and this. Get my little 20/0. Actually, we want to get this crown too with that gold, another coat, and then we're going to coat that up there, get that a little bit better too. All right. I'm going to put a little bit more white in there. In that little circle, because it's going to have some white that comes through here. Okay. All right, now let's get that a little bit better up there. Now we have to put snow on our branches, and this will be the end of it once we get the snow on the branches. Let's see, more gold here. We have to kind of sorry, Sally. Scared her. Okay, I'm going to get some white. And maybe, well, yeah, just some white. Because you know, like inside these, there's like always these little gaps. I'm just using my number 20/0. But when you look at decorations, there's always these little gaps in there. Let's see, just to give it a little bit of okay. we're just gonna draw this to come around. Like that. I don't care for that. Let's see. Just get rid of that. I didn't like the way that turned out. It just didn't go down too well. Yeah, sometimes it gets a little weird. So, we'll just make this kind of solid looking. Okay. I'll put a little bit of the raw sienna up at the top here. Just kind of getting a bit darker. Maybe come in a little bit here so it's gives a little bit of dimension here. And we can put the gold back in here. It's almost similar to the raw sienna. Alright, now let's see here. We want to mix a little bit, I think, phthalo blue and white, and we're going to put some snow on those branches. So I'm going to mix phthalo blue and white. So it's probably the similar, just a touch of the phthalo blue, more white into it because phthalo blue has such a it's strong in intensity. Okay, and we're gonna just like put some of this on top of some of these branches, and I'm just using that number 4 bright to do this, and we're going to add white to it actually after. So I'm going to probably speed this up again. Probably would be a good idea. Okay, I'm going to go around this a little bit more with some of the darker phthalo blue. I just want to kind of get this more like dimensional looking. This may not even work because phthalo blue, there we go. Just on the edge here, kind of giving it a little bit more distinct so that it looks like it is a sphere. It's round and it's nice and round. Rub it a little bit, kind of get it moving into that where it doesn't look so light. You want to have that little bit of edge here so that it makes it look a little more round instead of flat. You don't want this to be flat looking. And I think with this might help. Just rub it with a baby wipe, giving it a little bit more pizzazz here. And on this bottom part, we can make this a little darker. Right in here. Because it is kind of like in the, you know, like the bottom of the ornament. All right, I think we're done. Let me just step back here. Let's see. Yes, and it's like off center. You don't want it directly in the center, which is another thing, you know, your ornament is off center. And I think we have it. Now, I still would like to make that a little bit darker if I can, this top part here. Because to me, it's just, well, I can actually go into the gold a little bit more. Kind of give it a little bit of gold there. And I mean, I don't want to get hung up on something like this, but I think we have it. We have our bokeh effect. We did, maybe I could put a little bit more snow up there into this area here where they're sitting. Just a little bit more white. Right in here, along the edge here. Wipe that down a little too. You got your trees. Got some shadows forming from the trees. It slopes down. And that's okay. I mean, we want this to be the main part. Everything else doesn't matter. I mean, we can make those trees higher if you want, but I like the way that they are right now. So I think that's it. So until next time, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we'll see you again. I hope you had enjoyed this painting. If you did, kind of give me a thumbs up, make some comments. We'll love to hear the comments. Subscribe, like, subscribe. Check out the stencil that will be on Patreon once this is actually up on YouTube. Now, as you know, these are not for kids. I mean, kids cannot do these. It's too hard. And these are more adult paintings, learning adults learning how to paint. So, have a good one. Bye. Okay, there was one more thing I wanted to do here, which, after looking at it, that it needed. And I just want to put some white in here, just around this area, so that it has some semblance that it's is round. Detail here. We're also going to be putting some snow on. Something I think will kind of make this pop a little bit more. Give it a little bit more dimension. And when we do the snow, I think we all know how to do that. But this is just a little refresher. I am going to wet the paint. Get it kind of watery. And I want to get a fan brush. Get a little fan brush right here. Kind of get it fairly, not real wet, but we want it wet enough that we can make this happen here. And just sprinkle some snow on our cute little ornament. And since I have this out, I'm just gonna kind of brush this right here. Since I have it. Oops. Around here. Alright, and I want to get a little bit of snow on top of that. So that's that pretty blue that we mixed up before. And we're going to put it around here. Have some of that come down. Oop. Let's come down and get some. Let me get my little brush and get some blue. I'm gonna put some of that around right in here. A little bit right in here. Gonna bring it down and up here around that silver, around here. Okay, get some white. And right in here. Get a little bit more white. Okay, I think that'll do it now. Just get a little bit more here and here. Make our little ball look more rounded. Now, kind kind of reminds you more like it's supposed to look. And I think we're finished. But I just wanted to give that little bit more feeling to it. Nice big one here, possibly one right here. Very good. All right, then I'm just going to erase those and we're finished now with this. It looks so pretty, our little Christmas ornament and snow. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks again for watching.